Actors, we've all got issues, so let's talk about them. I'm Juan Ayala, and welcome to Actors with Issues. Each week, we bring you interviews with actors from across TV, film, and Broadway, taking many deep dives into their careers and getting into the successes, the struggles, and of course, the issues that they face as actors. That's enough about us. Let's dive into the episode. Today's guest is a writer, producer, and director, and the creative mind behind Snatched, one of the many amazing short films part of this year's Bite Size Halloween on Hulu. Please welcome to the stage, Michael Schwartz. Michael, welcome to the show. Thank you for being here.
Oh my gosh, thanks for having me, Juan. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. So we always start with a quick rapid fire game on our show. So first one, coffee or tea?
Coffee,
Film or TV?
film,
Drama or comedy?
comedy,
Hero or villain?
villain.
What movie never fails to make you laugh?
um, Groundhog Day.
Good choice. And what movie never fails to make you cry?
Uh, Once.
They
The
made a musical of
musical.
that, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
musical movie.
What filmmaker has had the biggest influence on you?
Um, Really good, 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 good. So many. I don't know where to begin with that. I'm gonna go with um,
You can do a top three. That's easier.
oh
I know
gosh.
picking one is hard.
Uh, I'm just gonna say uh, Francis Ford Coppola.
It's a good choice. I mean, come on.
Oh my
Uh,
God, I'm sorry. That was so funny to me because I literally was going through like, as so many filmmakers have had such a profound impact on me and influence that it's so that well, that's the name of the game, isn't it? It's
yeah.
rapid fire for a reason.
What is the last show that you binge watched?
Um, White Lotus.
If you could have lunch with any actor, dead or alive, who would it be?
Mm, Paul Newman.
And what is your favorite horror movie?
The Shining slash Scream.
Oh, both amazing choices. I mean, come on. So with Snatch, as I said right before our interview, I can't tell you how much I loved this one because it was so funny and off-putting. And you're also like, yeah, some straight people do talk to us like that when they find out that you're not straight. So it was almost like too familiar. Like, mind you, the line that's in the trailer with Tatiana saying like, "Mama's gonna get snatched," right? It's like, that is exactly how people think we talk all the time. So where did this idea come from of a coming out story happening like the night of an alien invasion? Like, where on earth did you pull that from?
Yeah. Well, I was abducted by aliens a few years ago, and
Got it.
they say write what you know. So, no, look, I never in a million years thought I would write a coming out story, to be honest. And hopefully it's not just about that. Back in the spring, all the news around the Don't Say Gay bill was pretty wild to me. Of all the wild things that have happened in the news the last couple of years, it just sort of never seems to end. But I was particularly struck by the hollow statements put out by political leaders and corporate leaders who would say that they, love and protect their LGBTQ plus employees, and then go and support other politicians and groups who are actively, in support of the Don't Say Gay bill. And that type of virtue signaling, regardless of political affiliation, was so not just striking to me, but like absurd to me. And that absurdity, I think, is what grew the idea for Snatched. And I turned to my partner and I said, gosh, would it be funny if a kid came out as gay in a horror movie to his parents, but the horror is that they were over enthusiastic about it? And then we like couldn't stop laughing about it. And then that sort of led me to thinking of all the different ways we can sort of usurp and subvert horror tropes. We open with or real life tropes, right? We open with the image of a black boy in the hoodie in a corner, and if you think that's meant to be menacing, it makes you question why you think that. And of course, he
Right.
just turns out to be the love interest and ultimately the hero in the movie. He's named Miles. Actually, that's a Easter egg, is because the original hero of the original Body Snatchers was a white guy named Miles.
Mm.
And so, and Joey, the character, is a queer protagonist. Oftentimes, the queer characters in horror are relegated to the sidelines or are there for wisecracks. And,
Mm.
I wanted him to be front and center, and I wanted him to not be the comedic relief. And funny enough, he's the straight man in the film. And so, yeah, it came from a reaction to things happening in our world. There's enough horrors in our real world to mine from constantly.
Yeah.
And my sensibility is always to try and ease you, make you laugh at first, and then see if we can punch you in the gut a little later on. And my hope is that provokes conversations afterwards and questioning and self-reflection, and that we've got 10 minutes to tell a three-act structure and leave you wanting more. So it's also what happens after the viewing of the film that's just as important as the fun roller coaster ride experience of the film itself.
And with so many of the shorts that are part of this collection of Hulu's Bite Size Halloween, it's so many of them have this like underlying message or context to them, and I love that about them because it's not just like empty, not empty, but it's not just like another horror movie, another horror short. There is something in each of them that will leave you thinking about something or questioning yourself or questioning other people.
Which is so right on, and it's such a testament to the company I'm in and all the different voices and the unique voices of all different sorts of people from around the world who have something to say. And the horror genre historically is wanting people to say things. It's not just about the scares. The best scares come from real places. I talk about The Shining. It's because what's scarier than your own parent trying to kill you? I mean, that is the stuff of nightmares. And so, because this storyline had elements of that as well, we thought we'd hat tip to The Shining. It's also, Leonardo DiCaprio meme pointing at the television set. It's an opportunity for horror fans to feel they get the reference and to feel included in the storytelling. The queer references are obviously for queer people or queer allies to feel like they are in on the joke. Which we want horror to make you feel scared and empowered at the same time.
And with Snatch, I mean, just watching it, it looks like you guys had a very quick turnaround in terms of shooting. I know it is 10 minutes, but a lot of times shorts can take a long time to film. But what was the production schedule like? Was it like a couple days,
Oh my goodness.
a
Yeah,
day,
we
possibly?
shot we shot a 10-minute short film, multiple locations, stunts, blood in 2 days. Which is a testament to the team, to my producer Nilu Safinia, to Valerie and Elizabeth, and everyone who was on set helping me run a tight ship. Um, it came together very quickly. I got the pitch. I wrote this that night, pitched it the next day, and found myself in production a month later and had to pull in these locations and a team of over 100 people and this amazing cast. And I think what was helpful was we planned it within an inch of its life beforehand with a shot list and storyboards and site visits that really helped us sort of remove as much of the investigation of the technical aspect on set as much as possible, so that once we were on set, the actors could just play. And I swear, there's so many moments in the film that are ad libs of Tatiana's sad tongue pop, the way she says seat belts at the top of I mean, that's all her just having fun.
Yeah.
And I love that. I love the way that the actors got so close so quickly and felt comfortable enough to contribute and play around, because that's when it feels most alive ultimately in the final cut.
Mm. And with despite the or in addition to the very quick production schedule and everything, was there any particular challenges you faced with this short compared to other projects you've had?
Um, yeah, the scope is huge for a 10-minute short film with a small budget. I think the biggest challenges were certainly securing that house, that location that happens to face the glistening bay and the Golden Gate Bridge, and really making sure we could use that space and treat that house with respect. And um, I think the mechanics of that, of parking and drone shots and just a massive team that was necessary to pull this off. And continuity. I mean, there's blood and there's sweat that needs to be consistent. There's all these like little things, and hats off to the entire team. I mean, our production designer Eric, he that house was empty. He staged that house in like 24 hours. And all
Wow.
the baseball memorabilia is from family friends of mine. The photos on the staircase are my own family, with a photo of Tatiana, Brendan, and Misha sort of stuck in the middle. I mean, the resourcefulness
Mhm.
that projects like this beg of you, um, and it would not be possible without the community behind me. So certainly the challenges of creating something of this scale at this budget and this time frame was the biggest challenge, and it was only possible because my family, my friends, the colleagues of people involved just jumped in because they believed in the story and thought this was a good moment to tell it.
And with the name of our show being Actors with Issues, we always do like to sort of touch on the different issues and obstacles that creatives of all kinds face on the day to day. So, what's something that comes to mind as something you wish you learned earlier in your career that you know now?
Specifically regarding actors.
No, just sort of like in the creative world.
Oh, mm, yeah, I think make the space.
Mm.
And I mean that in a couple ways. So make the space means make the figurative space in your life to be creative. That if you are running around busy like a chicken with its head cut off constantly, running from gig to gig, and not creating the time, not leaving the time or making the time to get inspired. The creative process is a squiggly line. It's not a straight line. And inspiration just doesn't come out of nowhere. You have to live a life. You have to get out there and pay attention to the world around you. So I think make the space in your life to be creative. And then I mean it quite literally. Make a space to be creative. For 10 years, lived on the Upper West Side in a walk-in closet. It was about 8 feet by 9 feet. I'm 6'4", so I would extend my hands and I would touch both walls. And obviously, because I didn't have any money, that's how I had to live. And I couldn't feel creative in there. And I should have gone to the library. I should have gone to the park. I should have gone to places where I can feel creative. And now, a little older, it is my priority to create an office space or a space where I am inspired both by things around me that inspire me, by biophilia, by the blue sky. Making the space is what I wish I told my 21-year-old self, both figuratively and quite literally.
And before we go, we just have a few more rapid. Well, these aren't rapid fire questions,
Oh
so
yeah,
the
my
pressure is
favorite.
off. But fill in the blank. If I weren't working in the arts, I'd be.
An advocate, a community leader, a community builder.
Hmm. What is the best advice you've ever gotten?
Fail again, fail better.
What's the worst advice you've ever gotten?
Um, just put up a show downtown. It's easy and cheap.
If only it were that easy, right?
Oh my gosh, the number of times people told me that in my 20s. Just just rent a theater and put up a show downtown. Oh yeah, it's $100,000. Yeah, which I clearly have. Yeah, put up a show downtown. That's the worst advice I ever received.
And in 10 words or less, what advice would you give to a young artist?
Fail again, fail better. That's Sam Beckett who said that. It's a bit of a longer statement, but that's the gist of it. We all want to succeed on our first crack, and I think without failing and learning and investigating and playing, we won't create the stories we're meant to create, or the stories that will reach a wider audience. So get your hands dirty and fail as much as you can.
Oh, Michael, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us today. Social media, Instagram, where can our lovely fans find you?
Yeah, Boatashore. Boatashore. That's me on Twitter, Instagram, and it's the name of my production company.
Awesome. And folks, you know the drill. You can find us on Instagram at Actors with Issues. Give me a follow at Juaniala Official, and you can find more of our show on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts, every Monday with bonus episodes on Thursdays. And you can watch Snatched in the latest season of Shorts, part of Hulu's Bite Size Halloween, streaming now on Hulu. I'm Juaniala. This is Actors with Issues, and we'll see you next week.